Jeez, we've taken previous day's highs now.
They're at 8.5. I just made $3,200 on an overnight swing on SPY calls.
Oh, nice. That's funny. I'm actually also in a swing long. I spoke about it pre-market.
I played the FOMC flip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Market Sleuth online.
No, we've
talked about this
about
before.
It. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
why do you think I was long?
For anyone that doesn't know in chat, so it's only for FOMC rate decisions. It is not for a typical FOMC day. Meaning, if it's just those are going to be your February, April, or February, March reads. Depends on which time of the year we start with. But when there is an FOMC rate decision, you have an 80% stat that price will come up and take the high that we opened at, depending on where you close the day of FOMC. So if you have a bearish close, like we did yesterday, we had an 80% stat that price would come up and take that high that we opened at for FOMC, since we closed bearish. And if it's a bullish IB, if it's a bullish FOMC, 80% stat that it comes in reverses down to the low that was made.
Yeah. Why do you think I was long, boss? You've told me about that, so I've got to, you got to learn when someone like Zinc's caliber speaks to you,
I had, holy smokes, that's my biggest play I've had for a while. I had SPY 740 calls, 334. I sold them at 8.18. So $334 to 818. I had 6 contracts. Good day. Made $1,000, Sam. Very nice. I did take SPY calls, yeah. Nice job on your longs, James. If you guys want to look more into it, it's on X. So go to Twitter. He's been in the market for a very long time. His name is John Market Sleuth.
He actually follows me. Remember, we went over this.
Yeah, he doesn't follow me. Followed by James Bruce.
No, you got to be South African. Then he follows you because of Elon Musk and.
So then go into the search bar and look up FOMC flip, and then go to latest. And this is all the times that he's thought he took it overnight. SPX up 60 handles as of this post. The FOMC flip I wrote about is a market brief today, and the market brief today might make an appearance again. It doesn't mean it will close green tomorrow. This phenomenon is about how it opens in the cash session the next trading day, which I don't even know what the cash session is, but he wrote about this. I found out about it 2 years ago, and I still remember it. So something to look forward to next time we have FOMC. That was freaking beautiful. Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that was I'm actually I'm full out of my longs now, my swing longs on NQ. See, we are previous days highs though, Zinc, which I was speaking about on pre-market session. We just tapped into that.
We have an outside day right now in Qs, which we actually just took.
Yeah.
So that's our opening reversal. $2 down to outside day high. Now we don't have much to go off for today. Cash session equals New York futures session. Thank you. Regular trading hours. Look at all you guys in here. So knowledgeable. The more you know. I didn't know that cash session was just another word for regular trading hours. Beautiful close on the long. We filled the outside day stat. SPY is smack dab in the middle of previous day's range. Right in the middle.
What do you don't like the longs at this level?
Not this early, no. I took a look at last time we had this flip happen. Let's see if I can remember it. I believe it was April 28th. Let's see if I can find it. I looked at all of them last night. There we go. So the last time we had this happen was Wednesday, April 29th into April 30th. Here's our FOMC. We had a bearish close on FOMC. As you can see, we closed down at 708. So that's your signal to go long. This one was a long swing overnight, 708 all the way up to 715. This is on SPY. And then into open the following day, we went from 715 all the way down to 710. So we retraced pretty much the entire overnight move. And we're already back where we were for FOMC closure.
Yeah.
Another reason I don't like longs that much is we only have, so this is the end of the week today. There's no market open tomorrow because it's Juneteenth. I don't know if you know that.
Yes. We're having an argument with the guys in chat today. I was like, I have to teach the Americans about their own market.
We only have a 15% stat that price will go and break the opening week range high as well.
Yeah, correct.
So I know that doesn't mean we're going to go up to the opening week range high. We could go all the way up to 740 and that would still validate it, but we don't have a reason to go up, if that makes sense. We don't have a draw to the upside. We actually have something that's pushing us down since we shouldn't be going to that level. So I don't play them this early in the open anyway.
Yeah.
Close my SPY calls at market open. Nice return on those. Very nice 50. I almost traded SPX, but I went with in the money SPY calls instead. We do have OPEX today, yes, but it's not that significant of one because it's a short week. Next week will be a little bit more significant. SPX would have been up huge. I don't know how much it would have made. I mean, I'm pretty content with the profit on SPY, that's for sure. I had 6, Sam. I just posted it. $145% overnight. Thank you, Marcus Luth.
We're sitting at daily view up now on NQ.
Yeah, we're dumping right now. Very hard.
Yeah, we're gonna need to hold this level for longs, at least for now. Oh, 1 minute till opening range sets. So you're not front running the RB anymore, I think, from what you said yesterday.
No, sir. No, sir. The entry is based on the closure zone of the IB now.
Okay.
I'll try drawing it out on. So going to replay for yesterday, which, funny enough, yesterday should have been a massive win on it. But we all know what happened. So if you close in the top quadrant with a bullish, it's 92%, which is why I can't front run it anymore because it's very dependent on the closures. 65% if you close over the midpoint. As soon as you get under the midpoint, it goes to 35%. And then if you close in the 75 percentile, it's all the way down at it's 8 to 12%. Because there's not many data points for it.
Sure.
So depending on the closure zone, that's why I have to wait now.
Think we're at daily VWAP and we've taken our previous day's high. So I've got a small long on. I've got $1,000 of risk on a long here. I'm in at 437 with my stop at 355. We're coming off of that daily VWAP. So I just like the level that we are bouncing at the moment. So this is my trade. We've taken our previous day's highs. I'm just looking to trade back up.
Do I like Weevil better than Robinhood? Yes, I do. I like that trade, James.
Yeah. We literally at daily VWAP, so and we ticked it, so see what
I don't think we're gonna do much today. I think it's probably just gonna
we also have, as you said, the market's closed tomorrow too. So
with OPEX today. It's not OPEX on a Thursday isn't that significant. It's usually the next Friday will be more significant, so we have probably more liquidity on that.
What's up, Corbus? Glad to catch you again. Did you take any trades today? I've just got, from the day trading side of things, this is my first day trade today. I had a swing trade on NQ overnight. And then how did I go off the FOMC? I actually was trading live with one of the guys and we took a long off the lows there. Sync on the FOMC spiked down. I went long on over there live on stream as well.
You're like this. I went short.
Yeah.
FOMC.
So I was on that wick down. I got long back up to that. Yeah, back
Nice.
up. Was that an M5 entry? Yeah, I'm on the 5 minute. Yeah, just repinning daily VWAP. So overnight VWAP, start of the day VWAP, and I like it for potential move back higher after taking our previous day's highs. So that's long.
Short right at the start of FOMC. I went short at 159 yesterday, a minute before FOMC because of the double break stat. So I went in with 5 MQ. I had a $400 stop loss. My stop loss was just barely below where the IB high was. 30,500. My stop loss was right there. Pretty much the IB high from yesterday. And then it was like 400 point drop, 410 point drop in 5 minutes, just about. I got 100 James Bruce requests when I joined edgeful. Yeah, the bots are bad.
They hate.
But they do. The reason that they stick around is because they work, unfortunately. About a year ago, I talked to a guy that lost 60,000 to one of those scamming bots. He put all of his money into a broker that they sent him a link to and ended up losing it.
Jeez.
So that's why they stick around. They get one person a year, even though that's more than enough. Why did I anticipate a drop? The reason I was looking for a drop on FOMC was because on Wednesdays, which FOMC is always on Wednesdays.
There's no FOMC report on that edgeful about that flip, right?
No. I asked Andre about it last night, and he said that they will have a report for it soon. It'll be under the customizable report.
Sure.
Alex working on it. For Wednesdays, though, we only have a 3.8% chance that price double breaks the IB. So that's why I went short right off the bat. My stop loss was just barely. I didn't want to risk. I could have in hindsight now. I didn't realize how close it was because I was trading on Top Step. Stop loss was IB high, and then TP I just let the trade run. I did not anticipate it running for 400 points, but I caught 200 points of it with 5 micros, and then it just free fell forever. And then last night I did the same thing with longs. I went long right at open and sold it because of consistency, which is always nice. I would take a guess that we do that today. After we break the IV, that is. Because we don't really have a reason to go up. On the same note, we don't have a reason to go down. We already broke the opening range.
Big spark up now on the 5-minute chart. We'd like it to get that New York session view app. This is my trade at the moment that I'm running. So in long of the daily view app.
Nice. Hopefully that answered your question, Agus. No, that's why I went short. Using the data to my advantage. FOMC, I'm pretty sure it's always on Wednesday.
Yeah, most of the time.
If it's not every FOMC, it's the FOMC rate decisions are always on a Wednesday. Give your reasoning for long in the Globex Open again, please. The FOMC flip.
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can. Explain it, the FOMC flip for those that haven't heard of it.
The FOMC flip, you have an 80% stat that you reverse into the following session, depending on the close that you had on FOMC. So we had a bearish close, which means that we reverse your target on it. Your target price is the open of the FOMC candle, right at 2 o'clock. So this candle from yesterday, that's our 2 o'clock open for FOMC. You have an 80% stat that price reverses to that level, depending on the close that you have on FOMC. We had a bearish close. Price came all the way down to 721. The open for FOMC was 734. So we had a $13 drop. We have an 80% stat that price reverses into New York Open the following day and takes out that level, which is what we did right now. And that's what we're rejecting off of that 2 o'clock open. Now, SPY obviously didn't get that high, but it was still well on the path there. This one was a much larger range. SPY dropped $11. Sorry, not 20. Bad math there. If we had a bullish close, so if FOMC opened at 2 o'clock and we went up all the way up to 744, 745, we have an 80% stat. The price comes back down into that range. So that's why I went long right at open for Globex last night. As soon as 6 o'clock open, I think it was like 6:02 that I went long. And my stop loss was 50 points. And then I hit full TP within 5 minutes for consistency. I was done. Everything that I trade is data backed. So none of the trades that I take are based on my feelings with where price should go, because those ones usually fail me. That's a lesson that I learned a long time ago, is that if you're hoping price goes in a direction, it's probably not going to for you. And then you're just going to spiral and continue down and down and down and down and down. Are there stats for the Globex IB? Yes. Globex IB, you go into M&Q and you just change your time frame to the daily one. And these are your stats for Globex. You have stats for Asia. So Asia IB for a Thursday night, which would be tonight. We have if the lows form first, we have a 78% stat to go and take the high. If the highs form first, we have a 66% stat to go and take the low. Lucid Lives are going well. I'm at 1,200 in equity. I should be at 1,400, 1,500, but yesterday I was done dirty. That's a nice reversal for you, James.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Should have done what Andre did to you. Holy smokes, chart.
What's happening there?
How are the stats for the lunch IB? I actually don't have that one on here. I would create another one, but I already have them maxed out. The lunch IB is not something that I trade. teammate Alex uses it. I think he says it's like a 75 to 80%, but it's also dependent on the size of the IB you have. I can take a payout if I wanted to right now. I'll show my P&L chart for it. These trades on Lucid have only been the IB. There has been no other trade on these accounts. No discretional trades. These are all the IB. So this is how the IB is done for the month of June. And this is with 1 micro as well, keep in mind.
I just secured some there up 65 points.
Nice.
I took off 80%. And then I'm going to see how the rest does, yeah. So I was almost, that's almost 1 hour. I had an 82 point stop. I was up 75 points.
See how closely it follows my anticipated path. Up, down, up, down, up, down.
There you go. So that's a nice little one there.
Nice.
On that, so
very good.
I'll see if I can, if we can get, we're above New York session view app now. So I'm just going to see if I can hold the trail on this. It never hasn't been working recently, but we'll try and do it.
What's the rule, man?
Yeah. Yeah. It's 20% of the position. So hopefully we get some.
Nice long. We recovered quite a bit, 50%. See if it wants to continue.
Yeah.
For anyone that is interested in the IB, see on my screen back, James.
Yeah.
You journal that. For anyone interested in the IB, these are the stats for June. This is all 1 micro. All these trades 1 micro. The only variance is the size of the IB, as well as entry. So if we don't get a pullback, there's no entry. Monday and Tuesday to start the month, these ones I think were just Globex IB and then no New York entry. Fridays have been a pretty big range. Yesterday was just unfortunate, unlucky. So break-even week right now so far. Hopefully we get an entry today. No entry for Globex last night, and then no entry for Asia last night either. And that was just 1 trade yesterday that was negative 114. But these are all 1 micro trade. So I had 5 trades, 2 trades, 3 trades. Most days are 1.
James, how do you choose your stop? Well, for that one, I just went the previous swing low. So that's what I normally do. If I'm looking for longs, if I'm in a long, I'll go previous swing low, which was just underneath this level here. So that's why I went with a stop at 355. And then if I'm looking for shorts, obviously the previous swing high. But and then someone saying, James, can you explain your VWAP strategy? Yeah, I use the daily and New York session VWAP with the edgeful data to take high probability trades. For example, today we took out the previous day's highs from extended market hours. I know that with the stat, okay, with that stat, we should close as a bullish closing day year to date on NQ. If we take out the highs, 80% of the time we close as a bullish closing day. So I want to continue looking for longs. And then it's off that daily VWAP and you combine them together. So that's the trade. Was that well explained, Zink?
Yes.
Simple? Yeah.
Yes. I do, yes. Get concha. Do you trade IB on market close days? Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. It works. I don't remember the last market closure we had, but it worked really well. Memorial Day, maybe. I have not looked at Shanghai data. Globex in Asia. Globex is 6 to 7, and Asia is 8 to 9 ET. Last was previous Monday. Memorial Day. What was the date for Memorial Day?
Daily view app is the standard one. Yeah, daily view app's anchored to the start of day, so 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then any DAX trades today? I haven't had any DAX trades today so far. James, when's your start of daily? Yeah, so 6 p.m. Eastern time or 12 South African time, 12 p.m. South African time. 6 p.m.
May 25th. I don't have any data on the. I think I did take a trade on Memorial Day, but I don't have any data from it. Where did I get the FOMC flip from? Market Sleuth. 2 years ago. I saw one post from 2 years ago and I played it since. It's not my find, but it's something that is very profitable. Works very well. Makes me even happier that I got out pretty much at the peak today. The contract's at 8.5, so I missed maybe like another 200. That's it.
You can anchor the view app yourself. So you can just go to your trading view settings and anchor the view app yourself at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time open, then it draws itself. Or you can I just use the ASFX free automatic view apps, and there's my settings. Open, high, low, close, 4. Okay. So that's the one. Again, just to show you, you can anchor it yourself over there. Open, high, low, close, 4. Or you can get the free indicator there. Perfect. I'm full out now, Zinc.
Nice. Not nice? Nice, not nice? You got
nice. Yeah, I mean, I took 80% of the trade, and then I got about 10 points on the trail. So
seems like we're in for a choppy session. I'm eager to see if it follows my arrow for the day. It may not go all the way up to 75%, but I think we'll see something like this for the rest of the
day. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, I do. Let me show you guys on stream right now what the PDF looks like. Just a second. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but okay. So I have, this is what the PDF's looking like. I have it for London session, London IB, New York IB, Globex IB, Asia IB, and then going about trading those IBs with the entries, exits, what the criteria for the entry is. So these are what the PDFs look like with the flip and everything, stop loss remaining constant. I have, I want to say 16 made. I have another couple to go. Well, that's a pretty nasty reversal down. This is a big chop range for today too. This is 140 points that we just dropped. 5 minute.
I'm sure a lot of accounts are going to get torched on a day like today.
Oh, it was pretty bad yesterday. You want to know the total? I haven't shared it for a while. Take a guess.
Just for today, yeah?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. 160.
More.
Ooh. How much?
Count right now. Holy moly.
Oh my goodness. How many?
242.
Oh my god. Jeez, dude, that's crazy. Wow.
I'll work on something with Greg to get that PDF posted. Maybe another playbook type. I was serious about working with Andre yesterday, making an algo for trading the IB. Because it is almost perfectly mechanical now. There is still some discretion. So yesterday it would have been a long yes, but I did not take it because we had the inside bar stat that was being signaled to be taken. Which, funny enough, with that news candle we had from Trump, that is the exact level we went and hit and then bounced off of it and didn't do anything until FOMC. So pretty nasty. Yesterday was gross. I got very unlucky. That was an unfortunate trade. But the most important thing is constant sizing and keeping myself out of trades that I know I probably shouldn't be taking, which I should have listened to Andre on that yesterday because he said I was flip-flopping back and forth. Probably would have saved myself some worry, some stress by not taking that trade yesterday.
I told you, just get short again. Which you did.
I did on Tradeify. I got my frustrations out.
Looks like we want to continue high here. Honestly. James, how do I adjust slippages risk on my copy accounts? Thanks for your help. Are you talking about accounts on Traders Connect? Or which accounts are you talking about? Are you talking about CFD accounts? Yeah. What's up, Jason? Yeah, we're back above New York session VWAP now. We're wick daily VWAP again. I mean, I've made my bucks today. I'm probably going to call it a day. I think I made 800 on that.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to call it a day, just with the stock market being closed tomorrow.
I ended up losing another. I lost my funded next account because I forgot to trade on it again.
Oh, no, man.
I hate that rule. 7 days you have to trade on it. 7 calendar days or else you lose it.
I actually trade with Funded Next, but on the CFD accounts.
Yeah, they may not have the same rule for that.
No, I don't think they do, bro. I don't think they do.
Why am I expecting chop? 2 questions on that. Why am I expecting chop? And if the market's choppy, do we still take the trades? So first one, this is our previous day's high. Typically, previous day's high or low is like what we're looking at for SPY, where it's a pretty large range, and that's your draw going up or down. Those are previous day's high and low, or really just previous day's range. That's the most important stat going into any day because it's either an inside day, which if it is an inside day, you have an 88% stat to go and take previous day's high or low. If it's an outside day, like what we have today, you have a 65% stat or 67. We don't have any of those on Qs right now. So we don't have a reason to go up. We don't have a reason to go down. We already took the outside day stat. The only thing that we may have going for us is your VWAP, James.
Yeah. Someone. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Zing. I was just saying, I use Traders Connect, so I'm not too sure about social trader tools, but someone's saying, James, I don't see us above VWAP at the indicator you gave. Make sure you got your settings right. We're definitely above VWAP, as Zing just said. So here's the daily VWAP, okay? And here's the New York session open VWAP. I can drop down to a 1 minute.
I think he was looking for which one? It's edgeful VWAP suite.
Ah, yes. Okay, well, even that will show that edgeful VWAP suite will, that also will show that we're above the daily, above the New York, but below the weekly. So make sure your settings are correct.
Constellation, we have a perfectly flat VWAP right now.
Yeah, it's coming flat across the screen. Although the daily VWAP is pointing a little bit higher, the New York session is a bit flat. Agreed.
Do you not trade MES at all if M&Q already played out a little bit? Usually I try taking whichever one's closer to the midpoint. ES is much weaker today. If it's a long bias, I'll try taking Qs, but if it's a short bias, I'm going to be taking SPY today because it's weaker. If one of them breaks out, I will not take the trade on the other one. Aside from yesterday, I'm very happy with what my bias was. It was just unfortunate with how I got stopped out, or in the manner that I got stopped out. How about all the stocks? I just took a look at the screener. We're perfectly 50-50. Apple's bearish, Amazon, Avgo bullish, Costco bearish, Google bearish, Microsoft Meta bullish, Nvidia bearish. It's 50-50 perfectly.
VWAP settings, I can just show you the VWAP settings again. VWAP settings is, you can either use the free one with, well, they're both free. ASFX free automatic VWAP and key levels, and the settings is open, high, low, close, 4. Look at that. Okay, open, high, low, close, 4. And then you can also use the trading view one. Okay, and I did take another quick scalp to the longs there, zinc, once I pulled the second one out there, and I was full out again at those highs. Nice. But you can get the trading view one, the anchored view up. You just anchor to New York session open, and it's again open, high, low, close, 4. So that should help. I mean, if you get that, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be done for the day now, Zinc. 2 little quick scalps on ANQ.
We got the IB coming up in 23 minutes. Take a nice trade.
Is should be printing long for you as well, right?
They're actually diverged right now, so it's going to be up in the air until one of them.
Yeah, because NQ the half form first right now, right? Yes.
Yes, it's bearish at the moment. NQ looks like it's going to go take a new high right now, but for the diverged IBs, I actually like playing these a little bit more than just the regular one. Diverged IBs, we have a 17% stat that they both play out correctly. With QQQ and SPY being diverged a little bit right now, SPY is weaker, QQQ is stronger. If Qs goes and takes a new high, I'll make sure my screen's up good. If QQQ goes and takes a new high, that gives us an 83% stat to go and play whichever one breaks out correctly. So if SPY breaks out correctly to the downside, but QQQ has a long bias, that means that Qs would have an 83% stat that it goes and takes the low. If QQQ ends up having a bullish bias and it breaks to the upside, but SPY is bearish, that would mean that SPY would have an 83% stat to break to the upside. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a thumbs up, give us a like. Subscribe even. We do this pretty much every day of the week. James, will you and Andre be live tomorrow or no, because the market's closed?
No, market's closed, so I don't think we're going to be live. No.
Futures are open until...
Yeah. I was having an argument with the guys in the States. I was like, yeah, futures are open, but market's not open. Stock market's not open. What moves the index of the stocks? So.
I do not use Gamma. I don't use too many other stats. I think if you mix too many good things, it creates a bad thing. If you have too many confluences you're looking at, you get analysis paralysis. Can you take a look at MGC? I haven't traded that for a long time. I'll look at MGC right now. This is a bearish bias right now. So you'd want to see price get up to 4266. So it's a 40-point range in the IB right now. I watch QQQ and SPY because the data is more accurate on those. There is slippage on MNQ and NQ, which causes the data to be ever so slightly skewed. So for instance, if we're looking at Qs for the IB by rejection, and we're going to look at a Thursday, see if we have any divergence today, 72.73 and 53.85. Now, if we go and look at MNQ, we make sure that we're on the New York time frame. Those stats, 72, so they're the same for Thursday. Let's see Wednesday if there's any difference there. 92.75, 92.75. So there's no variance on Wednesdays. 71.58, 71.58. Well, I'm about to look like a fool. They're the same. Monday or Friday, one of the two is going to have divergence. 83.63. There you go. So Mondays are off by 14% and 3% on the high and low. So QQQ is the one. This is the only one that I look at. Even further than that, if you use NQ and MNQ, NQ and MNQ are diverged within each other as well. So NQ for a Monday, 73 and 63. MNQ for a Monday, 71 and 66. So if you're using the same, these are all the same ticker, right? They're all the same asset. MNQ, NQ, and QQQ for a Monday, all three of those, same exact thing, but they all have different data sets for a Monday. So to simplify it, I just go to QQQ and I use that. Same thing for SPY. There's been one time while trading the IB that I've gotten screwed over because of that divergence, and that was on SPY, I want to say like 3 months ago. MES was the trade that I took. MES went and took the low on the IB. ES and SPY did not. They ended up going and taking the high, so I got stopped out of the trade, but then the trade ended up working on SPY and ES. So to simplify all that, I no longer look at the three assets. I just look at QQQ and SPY because there's no divergence. There's no slippage on the chart. There's arguably more liquidity in SPY shares and QQQ shares because there's average volume 53 million shares a day on SPY and 46 million shares a day on Qs. I highly doubt there's that many contracts that get traded a day on NQ. For that many shares on SPY, it's $7.45 a share versus one contract at ES is $7,000. How can subscribers best learn how to use edgeful? Right here in the lives. You're in the right place for it. I think the best place to learn about using edgeful is around other people that use edgeful. So if for example, Pipti was the one that brought the Asia or Tokyo IB to my attention. Had I not had interaction with him, I probably wouldn't be trading the Tokyo IB. Same thing can be said for anyone that watches me trade the IB or diverged IBs, or watching James trade the opening week range, or VWAP projections, or outside days, inside bars. So the best place to learn about how to use edgeful is watching other people use it, or talking to other people that use edgeful, because the data does very, very well. Hims is making a comeback. Just don't say it too loud, Eddie.
Bitcoin's not.
Bitcoin sucks. Yep, IB is bearish right now. Yeah, SPY. Look how weak SPY is compared to Qs. They're diverged at the moment. If we see SPY go and take the low, we still have 15 minutes left. There's plenty of time for us to adjust here. I do think that we're still going to close under the midpoint, and then we can take a short on MNQ. So what our entry would be, it's not too big. It is a pretty big range. It's not terribly large. We have actually it is pretty big, 220 points. So 110 points from the midpoint. Risk reward today would be 220, depending on the flip. Yeah, midpoint's pretty much right at 30,500. For SPY is going to drag Qs down. If we close underneath the midpoint, we're all set to take the trade. So we're going to go in with, it might be too large of a risk, but I'll try taking it today. Depends on where we close. If we close over the midpoint, there's no entry in the 50 to 75% region. That's the trade that we would take if we close under the midpoint. But it is very choppy right now. I've been using M&Q and MES for weeks on the data lesson learned, switching to QQQ and SPY reports. Yeah, if you guys just flip through the days, individual days, even if you just want to look at today. So I'm gonna look at QQQ. This is for a Thursday, 72 and 53. We already know that M&Q is lined up with that, 72 and 53. NQ, same Thursday, 72, 53. So no variance there. Let's see SPY, 75, 58. MES, 66 and 58. So MES is off by 9% on the low forming first. And I'll add ES onto this. Okay. We go back to reports. So again, SPY for IB by rejection, 75 and 58. MES, 66 and 58. So off by 9%. And then ES, 66 and 58, off by 9%. So if you didn't know that they were different, you're going to take different stats for the same trade, which doesn't make any sense. So to simplify all of it, you just base it off of one rather liquid stat. We're about to go take a new high actually now. Nice. If we do take a high, I really like playing these now. I like the diverged IBs. The way that we go about playing this, I'm going to run you guys through the table. So NQ played out as a clean breakout, which is what we're 5 cents off of doing right now. I'm going to wait for it to go and take a high before I run into this. If we go to 737.65 or higher, that is the high form second, low form first. So we'd be targeting the high on the IB, whereas SPY is underneath the midpoint of the IB. How we go about playing this is reading this one line right here. Both played out correctly when they're diverged. It happens 17% of the time. 83% of the time, one of them will play out incorrectly, is what this data point's saying. So if Qs, which we just did, we went and took a new high right there. New high made. So we're bullish on QQQ, but we're bearish on SPY. And this one is very far off right now. It's off by half the IB, which is pretty crazy. If we know that we don't play them when they're diverged, the way that we go about playing them now, we used to not play them. If they're diverged IBs, we called it a day, we moved on. Now that QQQ is bullish, but SPY is bearish, we don't know which one's going to be the correct asset. We don't know which one's going to be the incorrect asset. What we can do is we can react. So we take a long or short based on which one plays out correctly first. If QQQ plays out correctly, it goes and takes the upside. We know that there's an 83% stat that SPY should go and take the upside because this one will not play out correctly. The way that you view this is that there's a 17% stat that price will go to the low and 83% stat that price will go to the high. Which one of these are you more inclined to take? Which one's the better stat? Should be very obvious. Definitely not the 17%. So we wait for which one breaks out correctly, and we take the opposing asset to the incorrect direction. What's going on, Booyah? How you doing? Good morning, coaches, he said.
Yes, sir. Booyah.
So that's how we play the diverged IBs now. We wait for whichever asset plays out correctly, and we go and play the other one to the incorrect direction because this tells us there's an 83% stat. One of them will be incorrect. 17%, they will both play out correctly. 83% of the time, at least one instrument fails to deliver. And that's what we capitalize on. So if I see, I'm guessing QQQ is going to be bullish. Speaking of, I don't know where, I got to go and get a screenshot of what my first arrow looked like, but I think this is pretty damn close to what I drew originally. I think it was something like this. I'll go back in the stream and see if I have it. QQQ, I anticipate it's going to be the bullish break. So then we go over to SPY, and SPY we will play a long. And we'll put the stop loss. We could probably put the stop loss at the IB low. Ideally, too, to further this asset, to further this trade, further make this a little bit better for us. If we go into the reports, we go on SPY, IB by rejection. We go to all weekdays, and we're going to look what happens when it closes over the midpoint. How does that change the stats? For when the lows form first, we need more data because there's only 2 years. So if we close over the midpoint and the highs form first, we have a 56% stat that we go and break the high. So it's actually favored very slightly, but it is favored for us to go and take the high. This would be an added confluence onto the 83%. So if we close over the midpoint, which is 746.04, in the next 8 minutes, we are adding an 83% stat and a 56% stat that should go and take the high. If we close under the midpoint, which wouldn't be ideal because that would favor it going to the downside, closing underneath the midpoint between 25 and 50% is 66 and 65% stats to go and take the opposing direction, or take the correct direction. But right now it's looking pretty good to go in long. Perfect case for divergence. QQQ made a new high. MNQ did not yet. Did it really? That is absolutely correct. Gotta love when examples play out like that. That's why I use QQQ and not MNQ. MNQ should still go and take a new high. QQQ is obviously much higher than where it was. There's a new high in MNQ. Thank you for pointing that out, Steve. That's why I use Qs, everyone. You kind of predict the future a little bit. QQQ made equal highs just now, and it pulled MNQ up with it, which is funny because they're the same exact asset. You would anticipate that they do the same thing. Yeah, I'll add your X on there right now. No, we gotta wait for the closing. Ideally, what we get coming up here is QQQ gets a pullback to 25%, and that will pull SPY back almost to 50%. So I want to get an entry right about there if we can. For today's trade, this is going to be on MES. For today's trade, I might leave the stop loss at IB low because the flip wouldn't really make sense if we're playing a 17% stat that they both play out correctly. The reason that the flip works for regular trading hours or regularly trading the IB is because it's a 90% stat that you go and take the low when you hit 75%. But if they're diverged like they are right now, we know that this is now a 17% measure that it goes to the downside versus 83% to the upside. So I will be looking to go long. Stop loss and risk reward, we're looking at 24 points. So we can go in with one MES, and the risk will be 120-ish, plus or minus fees. That's if we get an entry right at 7558. But no, I went front runner right now. We're getting the pullback I want on Qs. Does it count as a new IB high formed if M and Q creates an equal high? No, it has to be greater than. For the IB to be broken, or a new high or new low, it needs to be greater than or less than. It cannot be greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So if our high was 737.63 and it hit 737.63, that does not count as a new high. It needs to be greater than. So that would still signal a bearish IB.
Yeah, NQ first hour is bullish right now. 4 minutes to go, but ES is red at the moment.
Yeah, ES is being a little fudgy. So I'm going to go, once we close here in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to go long on ES. Actually, incorrect. Sorry. Not going long on ES right there. We have to see QQQ break out first because they are diverged. ES could somehow be the one that plays out correctly. And that would drag NQ all the way down to the low. I don't think that's going to happen, but we need to wait for NQ or ES to break. NQ is looking like the more likely of the two because it's closing over 25%. It's a lot more likely that it's going to go and take that high. It's also a lot stronger. So no entering now because we don't know which asset is going to be the correct one. We have had more than enough examples of one asset being diverged. We had it happen June 10th where it looked like SPY was going to go and take the high and then ended up taking up all the way down to the low. You can see right here. We were 40 cents away from the high and then we went and took the low. So this is a reaction-based trade. This is not a trade that we front run. This isn't a trade that we anticipate which one of the assets is going to play out correctly. If SPY goes and takes the low, then we bring our trade over to M and Q and we go short to the downside. And we go and take shorts down here. But we need to wait for whichever one of these assets breaks first. That's the only workaround for it. Again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a thumbs up, give us a like. Yeah, those go a long way.
And again, probably no stream tomorrow.
I may do a live tomorrow morning. We'll see. Looks like SPY may be the one that plays out correctly. Look at that drop we just had. That's a 140-point candle down on M and Q in 2 minutes. 3 minutes. We just went from 30,628 to 30,500 in 3 minutes. 130 points.
Since the opening candle was red, are you leaning towards shorts? Even though personally, I like the longs. Just because I bought NQ already, but I think, as Zinc said, I think today could be a bit more choppy, right, Zinc? Do you think?
Absolutely. I need to go back in the stream to see where I drew my arrow because it's going to be pretty close to what we're doing right now.
Also, if you also just have a look here, the reason why, like as I said, the first hour is printing red right now. You can see that with the indicator, but we're also holding pre-market levels. So pre-market, like just into the open, we had a level here, pre-market at 530 on ES. So at the moment, I made my money for the day. I'm probably going to pack that up for the weekend and then come back next week. Yeah, NQ just coming back.
IB finalized. So now we wait. It actually looks more likely that SPY is going to go and break the low. We formed, that's a bearish hour, right? Bearish opening range. So even though QQQ is bullish right now, we're waiting for whichever one of these assets plays out correctly, which is looking like SPY is going to. And then we can take shorts on QQQ if that's the case. If I do stream tomorrow, it'll be on this same platform. I'll do it on the YouTube. Do a little free live Friday. Am I trading tonight? Yeah, if the setup's there. The market's still open overnight. There's no closure. The option market will be closed, so SPY and Qs will be closed into tomorrow, but everything else will be fine. Futures will run as usual. We don't have enough data to go long or short. We need to see which one of these assets. Technically, we closed in the worst possible spot we could have for both of them. QQQ closed over the midpoint. They're as diverged as they could be. QQQ over the midpoint, SPY under the midpoint. SPY signaling a break to the downside, QQQ signaling a break to the upside. But that, I guess the difficulty there would be that candle we just had drop. I really need to see how close that opening chop arrow would be. I think I drew it like this, and I'm not trying to think it was something like that. Not trying to be too perfect, but it was pretty close. We gotta wait. Funny enough, QQQ is a little weaker now, and SPY is actually gaining strength with the move up. Today would be, if we don't get an entry prior to 11:30, then we're not going to have anything to trade. I moved it back a little bit, a little tiny bit. QQQ is looking weaker. SPY is looking like it's going to be the one that plays out correctly, which is what we have to wait for. But one last time, for diverged IBs, this is a reaction-based trade. This is not something that you front run or anticipate which one's going to be correct. The stat we're playing is the fact that both playing out correctly is only 17%, meaning 83% of the time, at least one instrument fails to deliver right there. So if QQQ ends up playing out correctly, great. We take longs on SPY. If SPY ends up playing out correctly, great. We take shorts on M and Q, but there's no in between right now. We'll see if I trade tonight. It's dependent on the setups. This week may be a pretty lackluster week. I'd probably be break even, if anything. Longs on NQ Live with the Edgeful stream with the Mr. Zinc. Very nice, James.
Yes, sir.
First tweet that I go on Twitter to see is AJ trading Lucid.
Yeah, I saw that.
This guy tried doing the KYC verification using his mother's identity, but his post was Lucid trading is a scam. How can you make a post like that and then get called out by the CEO for lying? That's hilarious. NQ has to break through VWAP at IB25. It's pretty hard right now. We have a perfectly flat VWAP as well. I know I don't really use VWAP, but this has been flat since we opened this morning on NQ. We're over it at the very least, so it should bounce up. I have it on the 5-minute. It's at 734, so we are over it. 15-minute, we're over it as well. Let's see. SPY is equal with equal with its VWAP right now. It's not over it or under. Do I trade the lunch IB? I do not. That is probably one too many trades for me to be taking a day. I trade Globex IB, Asia, and New York. And I'll pull up my P&L chart again. There's only been today, maybe the first day of the month that I don't get a trade on any of the three. But for the entire month of June and the last week of May, there was at least one trade on Globex, Asia, or New York IB. I do Agashnell, yes. I trade them. I live trade twice a week for Asia, Globex. I did it once a week for the past two. I'm going to do it twice, but this week we had a short market, so I wasn't really able to. I'm probably not going to stream tonight. But this is, again, for anyone using the IB or interested in using the IB, this is the month of June. We've had, this may be the first day today, June 18th, that we don't get an entry on New York or Asia or Globex. I think we'll be fine. If we can break the high or low on SPY coming up here. QQQ looks a lot more likely to go and take the high. My guess is if it does take the high, we're going to be getting into a long position right about there on SPY, and then I'll put the stop loss at 75. I may put the stop loss at the full IB too. We'll see.
Yeah, still.
Go ahead.
Sorry, NQ actually closes the bearish first hour as well. Just interestingly enough on that pullback.
Yeah, choppy.
Yeah. Right.
Choppy. Lunchbox IB is 12-1, I think. Hard to know what to take right now. It's purely a reaction, nothing else. There's no, I'm not going to try to front run SPY, guessing that QQQ is going to be the one that breaks out correctly, and vice versa. QQQ could easily whip down 200 points right now and go and take the low, like it just did on the last 5-minute candle. Dropped 145 points in total. 30,638 all the way down to 30,498, 140 points in 5 minutes. It is looking pretty good on Q's. Going to take the high though, and then I'll go in long SPY, maybe even take 2 MES. We'll see. Why am I trading it if one asset breaks? Because they're diverged. That's the only instance that I'll take the trade if one of them breaks. We have a 17% stat, and this is just indicating if Q's breaks. I'm not trading the long right now. If QQQ breaks the upside, these are our stats. Those are our 2 stats for taking the high or low on SPY. 17% to the downside, 83% to the upside. It's because I think if I take 2 MES, it's going to be an entry like this. Yeah, like 75, 66, maybe 60%. I don't think we're going to get an entry at 50, which is why I may size up, but it's probably best to just stay with one MES. Yes. So we wait for one of the assets to break because we don't know which one's going to be the correct asset. Right now, we want QQQ to either take the high or we want SPY to take the low, and then we go and take the other asset. And we have at least another 20 minutes for this to play out. Show your top step trades, my discretionary trades, or my speculative trades. These ones are not based on data. These ones I just take willy-nilly. So I am, let's see which account I just took a payout on. This one, I think. On these accounts, this is where I take out my aggression on the market. QQQ stronger again. It's stronger until you say it's stronger, Brian, and then it gets a little weak. These are all discretionary trades. So these are all the trades that I've taken. They're all 5 MNQ. They're speculative. There's no real bias behind the trades. I'm just waiting for... Was this the one that I took to pay it on? This doesn't seem right. 2,000 profit. 1,000 profit. There we go. This is the one I took to pay it on, I guess. So I took 3,000 out of this one. This is what the P&L looks like. 2 DLLs back to back. That's why. 1,089. So these are all 5 M&Q trades. There you go, Brian. You're starting to learn. It looks so weak, pathetic, in fact. That is absolutely correct. It doesn't want to... It only remembers that you said it looks stronger. So another question there, both of us for both of us to answer, James. How are you able to predict a choppy market versus a directional market?
There's maybe two. There's kind of a few things actually that I personally use. One is if we stay inside the previous day's highs and lows. Okay. The second one is if we stay inside the opening range, which NQ is doing right now. And then the third one is also if the VWAP is the New York session open VWAP is also inside the opening range. It hasn't come out of the high or the low. So those three things help me identify a more choppy market. Yeah.
My answer for that is just intuition.
Yeah, it can be intuition as well. Time in the market.
Watching the
but those
market
are the three
long enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing that it's a Thursday, but it's a short week. We have options expiring today. We have quarterly, annual, semi-annual, and weekly options expiring today. Markets closed tomorrow. We had FOMC yesterday. We are gapped up 1.8%. Market's currently up just about 2%. Is that head and shoulders? What's the saying for that? One man's head and shoulders is another man's double bottom, triple bottom, something like that. This is disgusting. We had one good reversal, which very surprised we went and took a new high. Now we just have to wait for which one of these could take a move up or down. You could lean into TPO with chop, usually bounced, and you trade from the extremes back to the center or aggressive to the far side. Yeah, but then you're kind of just grasping straws and stuff to trade for chop days like this. I don't know if I'll trade tonight. It's based on the setups. Are you long or short? Neither. QQQ and SPY typically move together. Today they are unfortunately not. QQQ is telling us upside, SPY is telling us downside. So the only way to play that is to wait for which one of them plays out correctly and then play the other asset incorrectly. ES closed above the 50. That it did. It did. The stats on here, I do want to emphasize, the stats for the IVR ejection for the closing zone is dependent only at the 10:30 close. So this one does not measure it based on the 5-minute closures like I do. This only looks at where it closes at 10:30. If it closes within 50 to 75%, those are its stats for playing out correctly. For today's case, we closed between 25 and 49.99%, 25 and 50. So we have a 65% stat that SPY plays out correctly. QQQ closed over the midpoint, just barely. It did close over the midpoint. Actually, yeah, just barely over the midpoint. I was looking at the wrong line. So if we go to Qs now, QQQ, IVR rejection closing over the midpoint. we have the same exact stat, 63. So you're playing a 65% stat to the downside, 63% stat to the upside for Qs. We have no idea which one's going to play out correctly. It does look like Qs is going to play out correctly, but this, as I just said, could very easily drop 200 points. We are getting around Trump's bathroom break right now as well. He usually likes posting something on True Social.
He does.
That time. So be weary of that. Do not let the orange man do what he did to me yesterday again.
What he did to me yesterday.
TradeZella now supports live accounts. That's pretty cool. Nice. All right. Go and take the high, and then we can go long on SPY. So it's looking like we are going to get that probably just below 25% entry. That's the main downside to playing the diverged IBs is when they do play out. This would have been a really good entry at the midpoint, sadly, today. If they weren't diverged, we would have almost hit our stop loss, but full TP should be hitting here shortly. The downside to divergence is that pulling one of the assets up does end up kind of screwing your P&L or your risk reward. Blowing the chart. Yeah, everyone blowing your screen right now collectively. Should only be one SPY. It's the S&P 500, so whichever asset you can find using that. Zing still remembers yesterday, bro. I was having nightmares of it. Well, yeah, how would I not remember yesterday? After I got off the stream, I just drank my sorrows away. There's the high taken. So now we can go long on SPY. I think I'm going to be looking for something like that. So I might go in with 2. What's our risk reward here? 15 points. Make sure I'm on the right group. So I'm going to go and take a long on SPY. Of course, it's not showing my order filled now. So sell limit at the top. I'm going to put the stop loss at 75%. Chart settings, fills and orders, show all. Where is my price levels, continuous autofill, current position? There we go. So I'm long to the IB high because Qs ended up breaking. SPY now has an 83% stat to go and break the high. Target is IB high. 748.20 on SPY. On MES, it is 7582. 13 points from where we are right now. $65 risk reward. So we don't necessarily need to go in with 2. I guess 1's fine. What do you call divergence when the low and high form differently? Yes. Long on MES at, what's my entry? 7569. TD at IB high. Stop loss 75.
And the video is breaking now as well for new highs.
Nice. We have a 83% stat. We go and take the high. 17% stat. We go and take the low. That's why I'm in this trade right now, because QQQ broke the high. Second target could be naked point of control at 7586 from yesterday, just above IV high. That's above it by like 3 points, no? Yeah, 4 points. I am tempted to add into one, but I don't want to over risk, oversize. Realistically, I should have the stop loss at IB low. That'd be a little bit more reliant on the diverged IBs, because if it hits stop loss at IB 75, then that doesn't mean we're going to flip it. But on that same note, that would mean that I'd have to risk 150 to make 63, which doesn't really make much sense. The 30. I'll try it. I'll do 2. 2 MES. If I add 1, I'll put the stop loss on this one at the low. Kind of 2 different trades set up. So now the average is right about there, and the stop is about there. Something like that. Average is now 7566. TP is still at 7582. Good in at 570. Nice. I think you play it long. Always go long with the more bullish asset. Well, SPY is catching up now. QQQ is the more bullish asset, yes. This one I'm not arguing that it wouldn't have been a good entry, but we need to still wait for whichever one is diverged. So MNQ, sadly, this one played out perfectly at the IB50. Could not have been better. Should have gone long with NQ and go short if short signal on MES hit. And we'll see. It ends up not playing out. And then just a red week. I'm confident in the diverged IB stat. And I'll leave this running until the stop loss hits or until 12 o'clock. So we're looking at these stats right here. We have a 17% chance that price goes and takes the low on SPY. It's a little bit below where my entry was, or my average is. If I lose 2 days in a row, I'm not wearing white shirts anymore if I do. Something to do with the white shirts. I haven't personally seen, I was on the 1 minute. I haven't seen an outcome where they've both played out correctly. But we are going to chop today, so it's probably going to be a pretty long trade, I imagine. We have 6 minutes left in the segment. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a thumbs up. Likes go a long way. We have 340 concurrent right now.
Yeah, I think it's been a good trading day, I think this one looks good as well for you.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be holding it all freaking afternoon, man. So I'm going to be holding it all day. We shall see. QQQ, I'm a little disappointed in that. This would have been a picture perfect, no stop loss, barely missed a stop loss. That would have been the QQQ trade for today, right there. This is not looking too good. What do you mean? I'm down $3. Looks fine. 2 for 2 on the day. Took the Ivy high play on a New York VWAP for NQ. I did not. I'm in on a yes. It's going to take an hour for me to hit my TP or stop loss. I already know it. It looks fine. Trump's going to have a nice bathroom break. He's going to say that the market's going up. Trust the data. I am trusting the data. Always trust the data. I have my stress in this trade is not on me. It's on the data. So if it hits the stop loss, I got hit with a 17% outcome. That's it. If it's the TP, I take an 83% outcome. So my stress is on the data. It's not on my own trading. So I don't really have much to worry about. Can't trust Trump. No, you can't. Can't trust the orange man. I think if it does end up losing, I'll be down. You know what? I'll put the stop loss on both of them at the 75. So if it does lose, I'll be down. What's that? 20 points, $200. That's not too bad.
Zink, he says you must go long. You must hold your longs.
I'm going to try.
Okay. Say hello.
Oh, hello. How do we do this?
See, look,
hello.
There you are. Say hello, Beckham.
You named your son after David Beckham. This guy. Junior trader, yeah. Teach him the IB right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, he looks like his daddy. A tiny chubby James. You think just playing the IB, even if it's diverging, is okay to play? No. I do not think so, no. So the rule that I've set months and months and months ago, if the IB is diverged, you don't play it. That was the initial strategy. I did not have access to edgeful AI at the time, though, so I didn't know that when they are diverged. First off, divergence days only happen 5.6% of all trading days, so it's a very rare outcome. But when they do happen, you have a very solid chance that you go and take the correct level, which I'm green on the trade now. So we're going to be holding this for who knows how long. We have an 83% stat to go to the upside. We have a 17% stat to go to the downside. That's what the data is telling us. So we're going to play the data. If it plays out, great. If it doesn't, so be it. We move on to Friday. But I think this is a decent trade. Much prefer streams without Andre. I'm screenshotting that and sending it to him right now. Up 31 now. We'll see if we get our TP in the next 2 hours. Could be an outlier stat as well. Even if it is an outlier stat, who cares? Outlier stats aren't something that happens often. So if you're playing for an outlier stat, that makes no sense. Hope Trump doesn't say anything. How the heck am I supposed to control that? If anything, Trump's going to say, happy Juneteenth. Enjoy your long weekend, everyone.
And send it higher.
Probably say. All right, guys, that is the segment. So I'm going to leave this trade running. Stop loss is at IV75 for both of them. So I'm risking 200 on this. Reward is about 1-to-1. So reward's like 180, 160. That will do it for today. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. Market is closed tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Good stream today. Good win, James.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good rest of your day, everyone.